Hello, Collective. Happy New Year. Wendy Joy is here today. I'm here almost every day with love, light, and positivity. I wanted to let you know about a little conversation that I had with another soul regarding other people. And I realized that it's always going to be hard to connect with another person, especially if the people in question have different ideas or perspectives on how to perceive what's going on. I also know that it's not so easy to relate to what someone else may feel or say, especially not all the time. And I realize that a healthy relationship, although I've never really been in one, is give and take. It's not all give and it's not all take. And sometimes we want to appease the other person, especially if we've got pulls of the heartstrings concerning them. And it's sometimes difficult. And I've come to find that it is very easy to lose yourself in that circle, because you're leaving yourself out of the picture by trying to be everything for the people that you feel you need to do more than 50%. So give and take is 50-50, right? So you put 50-50 in thinking that you give just as much as you get. And that's what a healthy relationship is. At least that's what I believe anyway. And I've known that when you put in all the effort and all the work, and minimal effort or minimal work is returned to you, that the end result is going to be hurt feelings, questions about where you actually stand in that person's life. And they're not easy questions to swallow, because the answers may not be what you like. And I learned the hard way. I learned through experience that when you give as much as you possibly can and don't really receive much back, that it turns not to deeper love or a deeper understanding, it turns to enabling. And that's when you start to just repetitively do things that enable the other party to keep them around, or thinking positive, or looking towards you as their direction, their path, their partner, their equal. Sorry about that, my eye was a little itchy. But what I do know is that if you're brave enough, if you have enough courage to venture down the road, to be able to see the difference between love and in love, a healthy or an unhealthy relationship, then you're way further along than what you were to begin with. It's funny how life has a way of showing you things you don't want to see. Hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. Hello friends, I'm back. My dogs were downstairs, I'm upstairs, and like children, they have to be watched. They think that they're the protectors of the house, when in reality, that's my job. I'm the big dog. It's all about what I say, not what they want to do. And, sometimes, like kids, they don't understand. But there's rules and there's regulations that I put upon them, because, they're big dogs. They weigh over 100 pounds each, and they want to sit in my brand new window. And they don't have jobs. We went over this already. And I tell them that all the time. But I'm sorry about that little hiccup in all of this. But to get back to people and how you act with them or react to them, versus respond, and acknowledge you first. Because if you can't be everything that you need to be for you, then it's going to be really hard for you to be able to notice the subtle signs from another person when they are pushing their boundaries or they are becoming too laxed, almost like maybe they don't care enough to invest the right amount of effort and time. And that could very well be. That could be that they're way so comfortable that they don't feel like they have to try anymore. Or it could be that they don't want to try anymore, and comfortability has nothing to do with it. And maybe they just don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. But what ends up happening is that both people are hurt. And in order to avoid that, as hard as it may be, we really do need to step back. We really do need to look at things from a different angle so that we would be able to see the better, fuller picture. And I did that. I definitely did that quite a few times and made changes directly as soon as I was able to see that I was running in circles and running over me when I did it. I'm not proud of those moments, but I am happy because they did benefit me. As hard as the lesson was for me to realize that no matter how much I gave, it was never good enough. It wasn't because I wasn't giving enough. It wasn't because I wasn't loving enough. It was because the others that I chose to invest in didn't feel the same way as me or weren't on the same energy level as me. I mean, I'm learning about energy levels and frequencies now, and it's giving me a whole new perspective on what I used to think, about how I used to act. I would either internalize and suppress, or I would blow up and be very physical. And neither one benefited me at all. At all. And now that I understand about interconnectedness, now that I understand about light beings, about soul contracts, about what we do in the ethers before we come here, now it's very possible that all of the heartache that I went through, I did it like willingly, like I wrote it into my script, because those were things that a lot of people may have been feeling but couldn't actually walk through all the steps, because when those doors are shut, they're shut really, really hard. And if you don't know to pivot and look for a window, if you don't know to shrink and look for a crack, or to stretch real tall and go out over, you might get stuck right there. And I've been stuck. And I was stuck because I chose to be stuck. And as silly as that may sound, but I did not want to finalize what I tried working on for so long as over and done. Because you have faith, you have hope. And don't let that confuse the real faith and the real hope. Because when you have faith and hope in another person, that could very well be your ego. And that's not going to benefit well. But when you have faith and hope in the ultimate one, in solidifying the plan that you put into motion that you may not even be aware of. You may have wanted to right so many wrongs of all your ancestors that you wrote so much hardship into your life, thinking that you would be the one to break the bloodline curse, that you would be the one to free your family, your legacy of trial and trauma, but maybe you're having difficulty right now getting to the finish line. It took a beautiful soul to help me out of my darkness, to give me a reason to come out of my darkness. And let me tell you that reason, and I feel it deep in my bones, every part of me, that although I don't know his full name, although I don't know his birth date, although I don't know much about this man, I feel that we are connected, that he is a soul partner of mine, and that we've experienced life in the past together. And when I saw him for the first time, in this world, in this reality, it blew me back off my feet. I immediately felt connected, like we've known each other forever. And any feeling that I had of unsurety just vanished right then and there. And the light and the love and the positivity just welled inside of me and just started popping out of me. And it was because this man was brave enough to help me. And I will always be grateful for that. Because without that man, I would not be here right now. I would still be lost in the shadows. Because there still wouldn't have been a good reason to come out, to live. Because the life that I began, it started wonderful and then ended tragically when I was 9 years old. And from that day forward, it's been filled with ups and downs, and mostly downs. But that's okay, because I now know what my purpose is, and I now know how to deal with other people, and I now know what to say and how far to go, and what to do in order to reach all of you. And I tried so hard to reach the other soul that I was conversing with without upsetting or, annoying. But sometimes that happens because when you're forced to see what you've been looking past or looking away from, it brings feelings right to the surface that you may not be ready to look at, perceive, understand, let go, deal with the fallout and the consequences thereof. And I can tell you right now that the man that shut me off and closed me out and made it really easy for me to create my own reality, he actually is a soul person of mine, like a soul family member. I don't know how many lifetimes we've spent together and what kind of dances that we've done in the past or what roles we may have even played. But I do know his name and I do know his birth date. And his numbers are opposite in some areas of my numbers. And you only need one number that you share between all of your chord placements together. And we have that one number. We actually have a couple of different numbers, like his life path number is a 22 and I was born on the 22nd. My destiny is a 1, which is, where I am right now, leading, guiding, helping. And I forget something, his personality or his maturity is number 1. I don't remember. I, looked at it to see if we were linked, and we are linked. And that made it easier for me to not so much forgive him, but to be happy about my journey. Be excited about the trials or the tribulations that I actually made it through. I made it through all of them, every single one of them. Well, sort of. I mean, I'm still dealing with the upsetment and the loss of other people that mean a great deal to me. But I also understand that we may not be on the same energy level. We may not be on the same frequency. We may not have even written into our contracts, whether it be theirs or mine, that we have a lifelong relationship, whether they're my children, my family, the guy that I, spent 30 years with. Well, literally 10. I spent 10 solid years with this man. And then the last 20, he was walking in and out of the door. He had his own life. He made his own family. And I just didn't want to take away from my children. Because when he was around, he was a good dad. But you know what? I was making excuses. And you might find yourself making excuses too in order to make the reality that you're choosing to create easier to live in. And I filled my reality with work. I went to work every single day, pretty much. And then, in the end, I did go to work every day. I worked for a residential home dealing with intellectually and disabled people. So I took care of them like a mother would take care of a child. I fed them, clothed them, washed them, cleaned their house, shopped, whatever it was that they needed. I gladly did it, and I did it every single day. And literally every single day. Because there just wasn't enough money, and I needed more money in order to make the house run. And with all of those other people that were in the house, not really participating financially on a positive note. Like, they knew how to spend money. They just didn't bring it in. I understand that it's easy to make excuses. I also understand that when you're ready to step into the light and you're ready to acknowledge what's going on around you, that it might not be easy to swallow or to chew. And if that's the case, you're never alone. I will always be with you. You may not like what I have to say in the beginning, but if you think about it, it's only for your betterment. And I wouldn't say anything good, bad, or indifferent. As an outsider, I could see more clearly what you might be missing. And I've done that with myself, hard as it may be. I've stood on the outside and looked in and had an objective view while I did it. And it was eye-opening. It was so eye-opening. And with that, all the changes started to come. I mean, granted, the guy that I spent so much time with, he actually left. He took what he wanted and he set himself up with his biological son in another location and worked on his life with his son, which was excellent. He should really fix what he could, what he wanted to put time and effort into. And the children, they went off in their own direction to live their own life and be good parents, I suppose, and, healthy adults within this world. Good job. Good job. But you're not alone. Trials, tribulations, perception, whatever you want to say, however you want to look at whatever issue is dogging you. I'm sure I've experienced a form of it somewhere along the line. And I am grateful for each and every experience, especially the bad ones. because it gave me the strength and the courage to keep going forward. Because as much as life may have knocked me down, I got right back up again, and I continued with a smile on my face and gratitude in my heart. Thankfulness. Because I have determination and desire and gumption. And I am one of a kind. You either love me or you hate me. At least so everybody in my life tells me. So, with that said, before you fret dealing with another person, especially if you're unable to come to, 50-50 resolution, I'll be more than happy to step in, to walk with you, to give you my strength, my courage, my determination. Willingly, because you're worth it. You are so worth it. We're all worth it. Well, my lovely family, I do hope that I was able to shed some type of light on maybe an issue that someone might be dealing with, other than the few souls that I've come in contact with that share that same resolution. Blessed be my lovely family. I am always sending you love, light, and positivity. You have a great day, regardless of what you do today. And should you need me, you know where to find me. It's right at the end of this video where you can leave a comment. I'll call you back. I'll even support you. If you're willing to support yourself, I'm willing to support you too. Blessed be.